Hi guys,
Hello.
happy Sunday. So um, tonight we actually are talking about two suggestions that last week we actually asked you guys what were some things that you wanted to talk about it and message us, and two people did. And one person wanted to talk about, finding your one, having failed relationships and are they ever going to find their person? And the other person asked, they're always trying to please their family. Their family is always telling them what they think they should be doing. So just wanted to say hi to everyone that's popping on. Hi, Melissa, Sherry, Eleni, Amy, Alam, Seth, Sheila, welcome. And this is our first live as an engaged couple, so you don't have to be embarrassed. We're just happy that everyone was able to join us. And again, thank you everyone so much for all the text messages and the phone calls. I mean, it was really overwhelmingly wonderful to hear from everybody. So what we're going to talk about tonight are some things directly related to those things. And, we were talking about this at dinner tonight, that, both of these topics are things that we can so relate to. These are both things that we have gone through and we have worked on and worked through. So, the first one that we want to tackle, finding love. And, Nancy and I have both been in multiple relationships. So I'm going to let you go first.
I'm going to dive into this one.
Ladies first.
Well, first off, I'm incredibly happy and excited.
Maybe see if you can show them the ring from here. I don't know if you guys can show them the cool part about it.
Okay, so there's the ring, and which is so sparkly. And
so I don't know if you guys can see here. Get in real close. So you can see there's a rainbow of sapphires. So I actually designed this ring with Nancy's sister, Emily, who's amazing, her friend Kayla, and my sister. And basically we all collaborated, but this was Emily's design. She sketched it, and there was a lot of meaning and purpose behind it. It's a one-of-a-kind ring, and I wanted to create a one-of-a-kind ring for a one-of-a-kind person. And it was the truth, because after I proposed, do you guys want to hear how it went down? Do you guys type Y or yes in the chat box if you want to hear how everything went down? Because she was surprised. She was really surprised by everything that kind of went into this, because this was like a 4-month process. It started back in July. Okay, so Emily's sister is a jeweler, obviously. So when Nancy first started getting into real estate, it was actually good, because she would leave the house and go to the real estate office. And so it gave me the opportunity to, while she was at the office, go to the jewelry store and work with Emily directly, and her friend Kayla and my sister would meet us there. And it was an ongoing process. And so basically the ring was made in phases. I first picked out the center stone, and then we designed the setting, and there was a lot of intricacies, with the sapphires going underneath the ring, and there's a couple infinity symbols underneath to obviously bond us forever. And then obviously the stones around it and cascading down. So there was a lot of intricacies. So that was that. So then I was trying to figure out what's the best way to do it. And our 1-year dating anniversary was on Wednesday, this past Wednesday, the 7th. So I said, you know what? I'm like, it won't like be a complete surprise if like we go away to kind of celebrate our anniversary. So all week I was talking about, all week, Luna wants to come to the wedding. So all week I was telling her, like, you know, we're going away for a self-care weekend. I have something planned. Just don't make any plans Friday or Saturday. And it was going to be around our 1-year anniversary. So I don't think she was thinking anything different. So so New Hope is one of our favorite places to visit. So we have a restaurant where everything went down. So there's a place called Carla's in New Hope. It's an amazingly delicious restaurant, family atmosphere, and Debbie's birthday. That's exactly right. And so I called the restaurant ahead of time. I let them know what was going on. So I had planned that Friday night after we were engaged to do a celebratory dinner at our favorite restaurant. Mm-hmm. Quiet table in the corner, champagne glasses waiting for us. So that was one part. Then we had a favorite bed and breakfast that she fell in love with, that I took her to. I took her to on Valentine's Day this past year. And it had a jacuzzi tub, fireplace, just a wonderful, wonderful place. So I called them up, and thanks, Zach. Appreciate it, brother. So I called them up and I said, hey guys, it's Scott. You know, we're coming back up, but you know, I plan on proposing. So I had arranged a bouquet of flowers to be delivered to the room to say happy anniversary. And I also wrote a card to her, you know, a happy anniversary card, mailed it to the bed and breakfast, and had them put it on the table in there. So again, it was the theme that it was our first anniversary. And then I had them put some rose petals like on the bed and on the floor, awaiting for us in the room. So we were driving up there, and I'm like, you know, where do you think we're going? And she had her ideas, and I'm like, we just don't.
It was funny because I was just like, no, I'm not even gonna guess. Like, let's just go. It'll be so much fun. Yeah, it was.
So obviously, as we started driving, she obviously figured out where we were going. But again, so she walked into the room, and obviously she saw the bouquet of flowers, she saw the rose petals and the letter. But again, like the whole time, I had the innkeepers and all the staff like saying happy anniversary, happy anniversary. So it was that reoccurring theme. So we get into the room, we put our bags down, and we just start relaxing. And she actually presents me with an anniversary gift. She named a star after us called Poopy Pants. So let me explain to you the whole Poopy Pants thing. So on one of our first dates, I took her bowling. And I said, all right, I'm like, I'm going to turn my back, you turn your back, punch in your nickname that you had growing up, and whatever it appears on the screen, that's what it was. So my nickname growing up was Poopy, not because I pooped my pants, but everyone at overnight camp thought my mom called me that as a kid growing up, and hers was Pants. So we turn around, and on the screen it said Poopy Pants, and we're like, it couldn't have been scripted any better. So she called the star registry, and she registered a star in our name.
You can see it. It's in the sky.
Called Poopy Pants. We'll give you the coordinates so you can find our star. So anyway, so she presents me with with this star registry.
Oh,
So we were just like, you know, she was laying on the bed, and I was actually kneeling on one knee, but she couldn't see me. So we just started just talking, and I said, I have something for you, but before I give you your gift, I'm like, I just need to tell you, you know, how grateful I am for you. And just this last year has been such a growth year for me, you know, personally, professionally. I said, you know, Taylor loves you. I love you. You know, and I just told her, you know, just basically how much I loved her and just how much I'm excited about the future with her and everything. And I said, I have something for you. And she was kind of looking down, like checking something. And she looked up, And obviously I presented the ring, and she was completely shocked, and she like kind of slid off the bed and like came around the other side where I was kneeling down.
I like came down and I was like kneeling.
And she got like kneeled down with me, and obviously I said it wouldn't, obviously you would make me the happiest man in the world if you would say yes and be my wife, and she said yes, and she grabbed the ring and like quickly threw it on. I'm like, wait. I'm like, so she was crying at this point.
Oh, I was a mess.
And I took the ring off, and I'm like, I need to explain this ring to you. I said, this isn't just any ring. I said, this was a 4-month project. So you guys, so basically there's the center stone, and then there's diamonds around the sides and there. And then Emily helped me design this. Underneath, you can see there's a rainbow of sapphires all the way around, representing Nancy, because, obviously she brings light and love and happiness everywhere she goes, and she just leaves everyone better. So I was explaining this to her. I said, this ring was like your sister created this ring, and she was like, started crying more, and then I'm like, I need you to turn it over, and then she turned it over, and I showed her the sapphires, and I said, this is Emily's gift to you. She bought the sapphires for you to put them into your ring. So this is like, it's a one of a kind. I mean, there's nothing else like, and it made me feel so good because, someone so special deserves that special of a ring. And, we still kind of like everywhere we're going, like there's certain light, we're like, holy shit, look at this ring. Like it just, I mean, it's so gorgeous, and I'm just so happy that it's hers. So then, the ugly crying, and then the ugly crying started to happen, and I'm like, well, there's one more. So earlier in the week, I let all the families know what was going on. So I reached out to my dad and Andy, my mom and Anthony, Blair and Jason, Nancy's mom, Emily and Rob, and Bob and Melissa, her sister and brother. And I said, if everybody could send me a little video congratulations clip, so after she says yes, I can show her all of the congratulation messages. So now I've explained all this stuff, and she's crying, and I said, wait, there's one more, and I have all the videos lined up, and obviously I started with her family first, and basically she just saw all the messages from all her family, and then I showed her the messages from my family, because I wanted to include everybody. I wanted to include her family. I wanted to include my family in the celebration, where she would feel so important that I wanted to be able to celebrate with both of our families, with everyone not having to be there. And this was the best way to do it. And then obviously I said, now we're, I said, we have a whole weekend planned. I said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to dinner tonight. I hired a photographer to come tomorrow morning. We're going to take some engagement photos. I have massages in the afternoon. We're going to go to a winery after that and relax. And she's like, what? I
was just like, I feel so special.
And I said, just go with it. We're going to have a great weekend. I said, this is about us, and let's enjoy it. And, we talked about this after. What also made us feel so good, and we actually got messages from people. People appreciated us sharing our journey with you. You guys saw us from the very beginning, starting to date, and then we started these relationship videos, and we couldn't wait to actually, like, we were talking, like, before I could even post anything, she had posted the say yes photo before I'm the social media person, not you. And like, we just couldn't wait, not only to share it with each other, but to share it with all of you, because, you guys are all a part of our lives, even though we don't get to see everybody, sometimes even in person, but on here. So we were just so excited to share it with everybody.
Yeah. it was just like, I mean, seriously, I was like in shock. And then as soon as it started to sink in, I was like, oh, like I was just like, oh my God, everybody. But no, like he did such an amazing job. Like such an amazing job. I mean, I felt so incredibly special, and I am so incredibly happy and ecstatic. And I told him, I was like, it's absolutely perfect. So yeah.
I just, I wanted to, she deserved to have a great experience, because it's about her. It's not, I just wanted her to feel not just special that day, but just every day. And I want, that ring to be a reminder of that moment that her and I are always going to have together. So we wanted to share the story with you first. I know that we got kind of off topic, but this leads right in, because we both have been in a lot of different relationships, and there was a point for both of us where we totally felt like, you know what, I'm cool being single. Like I don't need a boyfriend. I don't need a girlfriend. I'm cool. And it's funny. The video that my dad sent us, it was a conversation that I forgot I had with him, and it was one of the times that one of my relationships had ended, and I said, Dad, I said, I don't know if I'm ever going to find anybody. What if the person that we haven't set a date yet, but we're working on that. I said, what if the person that I'm supposed to be with is in like Spain or Israel or Australia? Like, who says the person is like right here in Philadelphia? He goes, Scott, there is no just one person. He goes, there's the right person. And he goes, you will know when it's the right person. And from day one, from the first date that we have, even though, again, we've told the story before, hi, Jody. It was 2.5 months in between our first and second date. But even that first date, it was just different. It was really special. And I remember her sharing something with me, I had told her that I'd been married before, and she goes, and you have a son, what's your take on marriage? And I said, I wholeheartedly believe in marriage. I believe in being a team and being a unit and being a family. And I can't wait to find the right person.
Yeah, and it was really funny because I remember when we had that conversation, I was sitting there and I was kind of like, single, like whatever. And I'm like, really, why get married, And he just the way that he said it so beautifully, so like emotionally mature. It was just like, I want someone to be a team, together with, and, all this great stuff. And it changed my view. Like I literally went on a date with him. It was our first date, and I was like, man, I want that. I want that.
And so, someone reached out to us and said,
hi, Jody.
they've been single and they've been in relationships, and they they've been in relationships where they always felt like they were the giver and they were with takers. And Nancy and I are not going to say that, like, our previous relationships didn't work, not because we were with terrible people. We just weren't with the right person, in the sense that good people, but just the wrong match. And I think outside of just a heartfelt match, there's an energetic match. There's a vision that you need to have yourself and that person that you're with, and you have to be going in the same direction. And I truly feel that we definitely have an advantage in the best way possible for a healthy relationship, because we were sitting in the winery last night, and we were just like going over like just brainstorming all these goals, and where do we want our life to be in 12 months? Where do we want it to be in 24 months? What are our 6-month goals? And we both want the same exact thing. And anyone can have that with the person that they're with, but it's got to be the right person. And there are different people out there, and I truly believe wholeheartedly, we talked about this in the car, that within the first, I would say 2 to 3 months, 2 to 3 months of spending time consistently with the person that you're with, you absolutely know in your heart, I could definitely spend the rest of my life with that person. And I think sometimes we get hopeful that things will get better, or things will improve, or people will change. But what I've learned is that I don't want someone to change to be better. I just want them to always be who they are. And the person that who they are, I want that to be the person that I want to be with all the time. And the fact is that I learned a lot from my previous relationships, amazing people. I learned amazing lessons, and I know energetically who they are. They will be the absolute perfect fit for someone else's puzzle. It just wasn't the right fit for me.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a good way to say it?
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying at dinner tonight. I was just like, I feel like, we're like puzzle pieces and we go together. I mean, it's just, and nothing like, so I think Linda wrote, I found that when you're happy and content with yourself, you find the one that compliments you. Like I was telling Scott, if I hadn't been single, meaning like not in a serious relationship for the span of time, I went for 6+ months, not really even dating. And then like after that, it was like, okay, and that time, just having that time, which I'd never given myself time between relationships, I got to get to know myself. I got to have fun kind of being by myself and not dating and even worrying about that. I got to really focus on me. And I really, for the first time in my life, sat down and I wrote down the qualities and the things that I wanted in the person that I was with. It was like, okay, I want somebody who's, makes me laugh, someone who loves music, someone who, is this and is kind and is generous and is this and blah, blah, blah. And it's like patient, like all these things, like I wrote down, and I seriously, like, I feel like Scott like matches every single one. It's like the more we like are together, it's like, I feel like the stronger we get. It's just like, I mean, we said it before, we kind of like water each other, and it's just like, we're this perfect, like synergistic thing. And I would have never even imagined, like when we even went on our first date, like that it was going to turn into like this amazingly awesome, cool thing. I mean, because it really, like, I feel so lucky that I found someone who is literally matching the list that I made, whenever I was single for a little bit and, wanted to figure out what I wanted.
Well, it's so funny because we're so different, literally 2 minutes after we got engaged, she had a business call come through that she had to take. And she goes, "Can I get this?" I'm like, "Yeah, like it's your business. Go take it." And she had to work something out with one of her businesses. And we're at dinner last night, and I get a message, "Hey, can you talk now? I want to hire you." And I'm like, "Is it okay?" And she goes, "Yeah, go outside and do your call." It's that level of respect. Like, obviously, it's polite to ask your partner, is it okay if I take this call? I would never resent her for wanting to grow, because again, I'm always reminded that no matter what, if you're in a relationship, you are still an individual in that relationship. So there are still things that are important to her that should be more important to her than me. Her real estate business should be at the top of her list as importance, is because your passion, your livelihood, your job, your profession, it's taken very seriously. Just like she knows my coaching practice, is one of the top of my priorities. But above that is the respect factor for working on those businesses. Not just saying, "Hey, I'm going to grab this," or, "Hey, this, that, or the other." Basically me saying, "Hey, honey, can I go outside really quickly and just do this quick call?" And just, she was writing some notes down, and we brought a book with us to kind of read like while we were at dinner. So it's all about respect. And again, it's not about finding the one, it's about finding the right person that fills you in every single way. The other thing is this: you cannot let your past relationships dictate what potentially could lie out there for you in the future. Too many people hold on to their past relationships, where they went wrong, what they did wrong, what people did to them, what they did to them, and you carry around that baggage to those relationships. And I was we were both open books with each other about our relationships, because there's nothing to hide. There's nothing to run away from. All of those things are lessons. Every relationship that didn't work out the way that anyone intended to, there are so many incredible lessons to be learned from that. And you learn about yourself. And I can tell you, as a man, I have never been more confident as a man in my entire life than I am right now. And I know she can tell that, because I can make decisions, not for us, but I can make decisions based on what I feel would be best for us. Having the confidence to have an open conversation. We love planning our days out. Like, we love it. Like, what time do you want to get up tomorrow? What time do you want to be at the gym by? What time do you want to get coffee at? What time should we be back home to start working on our stuff? We love having these open conversations. Communication is everything. And, she's my best friend. And I spend more time with her than anyone. I mean, literally, we spend we're together
all the time.
And we don't get sick of each other. Like we have these conversation cards that we bring wherever we go. And
we always pull them out of pockets
everywhere. But it's great, because we go back to them because the relationship has changed the first time that we go through them. And the one card, it said, what is the one characteristic trait as a parent do you want to teach your kids? And, she said what hers was, and mine was to always be a kid. I always want to show Taylor, and I want to show our future family, we're just big kids, because you just want to have fun. So I always want to show my son and our future family just having fun. We're all kids. I don't want to be one of those parents that it's always stressed and anxious and just, always wound up so tight. I want to do fun stuff. Want to do really, really fun stuff. So just know that if you haven't found the right person yet, and you've had some failed relationships like we both have, don't view them as failures. They were lessons. Those relationships mean so much to us, because it wouldn't have, if those relationships never happened, this would have never, ever happened.
No.
Ever.
And the thing that I say is we're puzzle pieces, because it literally, every little thing brought us to where we are, with mindset, with what we've been through, with everything. I would have never been in the same mindset. I mean, you would have never been it's literally we came into each other's lives at the perfect time. Everything it just makes sense, and I remember feeling and if Tim ever jumps on here, sometimes he jumps on here, but one of my friends, he always told me, he said, you know what, do not get upset and get frustrated, and feel like you wasted time or anything like that, 5 years, 6 years, however long your relationship was, whether you were married or just in a long term, it was a chapter in your book. It doesn't have to be your whole book. Okay. And people get divorced every day. People get in new relationships. People get in relationships and then they're bad, or, they learn some things and whatever, but it doesn't have to be your whole book. Close the chapter. What did you learn from it? What are some things that you would take away that were good, and kind of move on from there? And where Scott and I started in our relationship, I told him tonight, even I said again, I love that we didn't just go all crazy in on the first date. It was like, I thought he was amazing, like on our first date. I mean, we're both like, "Ooh, I like this person." But like, we actually had time in between because we were kind of just living life and we were kind of just getting used to getting back out there. And we had a few months in between our first date. It was amazing when we reconnected, and we still say to this day, like, it was our third date that did it. I mean, we appreciated each other. It was great, but we were so incredibly thoughtful and mature and like, so like, just, we were great in like the decision-making process. And we knew, I mean, that third date was it. It was like a 6-hour long epic, like talk fest. We talked about so many different things, and it was just like, holy cow, this is my person.
Yeah.
So.
And you don't know when it's going to hit you, but it does. Like, our friend Jody always jokes, like, haven't you guys gotten into a fight yet? And we honestly, like, hand to God, we have not.
I mean, we've been like,
we've had to have we've had to have conversations.
Yeah.
But I can tell you right now, and this is what I love, like, my voice has never been raised, and neither has hers. And we were talking about this, and the way relationships go, it's all about an energy match. So if you're with someone that energetically gives off, they're they raise their voice and they yell and they scream, that's you're going to match that energy. So screaming for screaming and fighting for fighting, we both have this.
You just calm me down.
Yeah, we just.
You just so like.
Well, you just take a couple deep breaths and you just have a conversation. It doesn't. It's. I always say to her, like, listen, this is not life or death. This is a conversation, and we're just going to talk through it. And what I can tell you is that the book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, and the 5 Love Languages. Those 2 books, if you have not read them, I think the one thing, and it still keeps coming up for me, I really feel that men are afraid to show their emotions. They're afraid to show their emotional side. Biologically, men and women are built, even though they're built differently, they're built the same. Men and women both have masculine and feminine, and you just have to get to know the person that you're with. There's times where she requires my masculine side, where it's like me, like putting my foot down and saying, no, that shit's not flying. This is what's going to happen. Or there's a time where my feminine energy needs to come through, where she needs more comforting and consoling and just listening and not telling. And the same thing for me. Sometimes if I'm coming to her with something, sometimes her masculine energy has to come up and she's like, shut the fuck up. Like, just, you're talking a bunch of nonsense right now. Like, man up and go take care of this. Or, my feminine side comes out where I need something, and her feminine nurturing side comes out to meet me. And this is what life is all about. So what I can tell you is that, life is just so short. People get wrapped up in so much needless and senseless drama.
Well, and
again, not to cut you off, but you guys have to remember, like, just strip away everything. Strip away all of, the labels of clothing and the fancy cars and the big houses. Strip all that down so you're just bare and naked and you're just you. It's all about prioritizing what is most important. And for me and for Nancy, above all else, family is everything to us. Like, we thrive on family. We spend most of our time with our family. And I mean, obviously we consider our close friends our family as well. Do what's most important to you. And this is a perfect segue into the second part. Don't do what other people feel is best for you, right?
Yeah.
Do you want me to just keep going?
Yes. I kind of zoned out for a second. Sorry.
So someone else wrote in And they said, Scott, my problem is there's people in my life that are constantly giving me their opinions about me and my life and how I'm living it and what I'm doing. And I get that. I don't think there's a person on this Facebook Live or either of us that has ever not experienced that. I think people are always going to give their opinions. They're always going to let you know how they feel. But what you have to understand, that's their opinion and that's their feeling. So if your opinion and your feeling for yourself is different, that's what's most important. Because there's only one person in your entire life that will ever have the power to have you do what you want to do, live the way you want to live, and be who you want to be. And that's yourself.
Yeah. I mean, this one, and it was last week that we actually had the request for this. I mean, this one is huge. And again, it's people constantly giving you their opinions about you and your life. There gets to be a point, and I compare this to kindness, okay? So a lot of times, whenever I had several leadership positions, I was told that I was too kind, I was too friendly, I was too nice, and I do believe that there's a difference, right? You got to be able to put down your foot and give feedback and things like that, and I agree. But giving someone feedback that they're too nice and too kind, I had to get to a point, and I did. I mean, I actually, again, I heard this from like Tim and a couple other people, but like, it's okay to be kind. It's okay to be who you are. Be confident in who you are. So when you find people constantly saying, I don't like what you're about, or I don't like what you're doing, or I don't get this, and I don't think, it's important for you, especially when you feel icky, right? You feel that icky feeling, like, why are they making me feel bad? It's important for you to reflect on yourself and really think about what makes you feel good. Think about what your core values are. Think about what makes you happy and makes you you. Because I'll tell you what, do you know what I did? Somebody, I started working on my confidence. Scott said that he's worked on his confidence and everything. I started working on my confidence, and I'm like, you know what? I like being a kind person. And I know the world isn't all friendly, sunshine, and rainbows. In fact, someone had said this in the real estate business. They were like, oh, be ready for, all this. It's like, guess what? I get it. I can handle it. I can see it coming, but it doesn't have to change how kind and how nice that I am, right? Stay true to your core values. Stay true to the things that make you happy and make you passionate, and put your foot down. And next time Aunt Sally or, Uncle Tom or whoever, try to say that I don't like what you're doing, or I don't get it, or you think you're so whatever. Who cares?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And guess what, guys? I know some people are family. I know some people you've grown up with, you spend a lot of time with. You think that they have so much pull and control over your life.
They don't.
They don't, and they don't need to.
You
right?
give them that power.
And I always use Les Brown's quote, and this applies to so many different things, and I'm just throwing it in here, but people's opinions of you do not have to become your reality.
Yes. And
this goes with family. It goes with everybody. If your family's like, oh, I don't think you're this, and I don't think you're successful, you're not finding the right people, and blah, blah, blah. Guess what? Reflect upon what you really want and you truly value. And it's like, I full-heartedly, like, you can't choose your family. There have been friends of mine who have had horrible family situations, and honestly, kind of breaking ties, separating ways, and kind of going off on their own thing has been some of the best decisions that they've made in their lives, because you can't choose the people who are going to be your family, but you can choose who you spend the most time with and that you let, have influence of you. So don't forget your core values. Stay true to you and who you are and what you do. And if you find passion in something, yeah.
But when someone says something, take what they say through the filter.
Yeah.
I mean, is it truthful? Is it kind?
Is it necessary?
Is it necessary? So if someone says to you, hey, so-and-so, I really think you should give up this whole network marketing thing. It's one of those scams. It's a pyramid. It's a Ponzi. Or, the job you have, you're not making enough money. Blah. So think about what they're saying. Is what they're saying to you kind? No. Is it truthful? No. And is it necessary? Absolutely not. So again, we all give power to the wrong people. Now, there's going to be a breaking point in your life and in your journey where you're going to have to make a decision. And it's not a matter of cutting off your family, but it's about you putting your big girl pants or your big boy pants on and letting those specific people in your family know, say, hey, listen, I love you, and I absolutely appreciate your opinion of what you feel would be best for me, but I need to go on this road myself and find out what's best for me myself, because I am truly the only one that knows what's best, because I have to experience it. And when you take the power back, when you first acknowledge that person, thank them for their opinion. Thank you for your opinion. I appreciate what you're saying, but this is how I feel. And they don't have to agree with you. They could say, well, you're drinking the Kool-Aid, and, what do you mean you coach people online and you work virtually and all you need is, like, what do you mean you have a virtual residential house cleaning business? What does that even mean? The thing is, they don't have to know what it means. You have to just run through that filter. Is what that person's saying truthful? Is what that person is saying to you kind? And is what that person's saying to you, is it necessary? But at the end of the day, here's what you have to know. If you go to bed with a smile on your face and love in your heart, knowing that you gave it your all that day for what you want to do, for how you want to live, and for how you want to be, only being yourself, that is living life. Because you should not go to bed thinking, did I please everyone today? Did I make everyone proud of me today? Did I do exactly what everybody else wanted me to do today? That is not living. That is dictating your life by pleasing other people. Don't be a people pleaser. Please yourself. Be a self-pleaser. Because again, if you can't love who you are, if you can't honor your own journey and where you're going, you're never going to fully step into your own personal greatness, because strength, vulnerability, risks, all of those things, getting challenged, that all comes going on your own road, going down your own path. You can't experience life if you can't actually experience life on your own. If you constantly have someone holding your hand, or you're still holding on to that umbilical cord and you're never ever letting go, you're never going to grow, you're never going to live, you're never going to expand.
Sure.
I know. I mean, it's my opinion, but I feel it's true. It's what's helped me.
Yeah.
So is there anything you want to?
Yeah, no, I mean, it is incredibly true. And I just think, like, it took me, I always said, like, for me, it was like when I hit 30 years old. I know it sounds like kind of funny, but like, I even told my little sister this, that I feel like I had some crazy enlightenment, whenever I went over the 30-year-old mark. And it was like, God, so many things that I thought were so important, and so many things I thought I needed to do, like to impress my family, or to do this or to do that. Like, guess what? Like, I need to focus on me and what makes me happy, and what truly, are big values for me. And, part of my whole life journey of, quitting my job and starting my whole entrepreneur life and traveling down that path. And again, I feel so incredibly grateful, because it's brought me, to Scott. It's brought me to the life that we have now. And it seemed crazy at the time, but I was told by multiple family members, like, you must be crazy. What are you doing? Like, this is not right. This is whatever. And it's like, guess what? I did it anyway, because that's how I felt in my heart. I knew that I need to do something that would make me happy. I mean, people said Walt Disney was crazy too. Yeah, you gotta stay strong, and you gotta respect yourself. And you want to say this quote? Well, I wanted to pull it up before I forgot, because it kind of applies to the first thing we talked about too. But a quote that I put on my Pinterest a while ago. This was a long time ago, actually. And this kind of wraps everything all together. Is the quote is, find yourself first, what you love, what turns you on, and how to be at peace. Okay, just peace with you. Then never settle for anyone who doesn't compliment you and give you even more of what you already have.
Wow.
And I posted that quote a long time ago. And that for me, I mean, that was the sweet spot because, again, like, you know, Scott and I went out on a date and it was like, okay, again, like I was so freaking happy just being kind of by myself and being single and just whatever for the first time in my life, like just feeling that kind of peace, that the person that I knew that I was going to end up with would have to be pretty damn awesome. And I'm just like, I can't even tell you. I mean, that is the best like advice until you are happy and you are confident and comfortable with yourself. I mean, that's the sweet spot. And it really let my heart open, you know, to a good, healthy relationship. And I mean, I told Scott, I was like, I feel like we hit the jackpot. I mean, we have like a love story because
and it's only just begun.
Yeah. I mean, but I really like, it's amazing.
And just remember that we have the power to take the power back and give it to those that we want it to. We give power to those that sometimes don't deserve it. And just by disagreeing, you know, just by saying how you personally feel about something, even if it doesn't go with what that person is saying, it doesn't mean you're wrong. You know, we have a voice for a reason. You know, you can voice your opinion. And just remember, there's only one person that controls how you can live your life and what you're going to do. And it's the person that looks back at you in the mirror every single day. Every single day. And Linda says, my mom told me, quote, it's not so much the man in your life as the life in your man. Mm-hmm. And she told me I couldn't marry until I understood that. Well, that's a great quote. So guys, listen, we are not an anomaly. You know, we were ready for what we truly deserved. And again, I think we both have so much gratitude for our previous relationships and the people that we got to experience those phases of our life with, because it did shape us for showing up for each other at the perfect time with the best versions of ourselves. And we continue to grow. I mean, you know, I said to Nancy a few weeks ago, listen, we are a runaway freight train and we are not stopping. And I think it's a good vision to have. And, you know, we have such big goals and big dreams for ourselves, but our future family and for our families. You know, we want so much to happen for everybody. And everybody, either on here live or on the replay, you deserve the same thing. There should not be any aspect of your life that doesn't feel good. If it doesn't feel good, lean into it, figure out what it is, and make it better. Because the wonderful thing that we both have learned about life is that there is a solution for every problem. You know, flat tire, you get it fixed. You know, you get your car scratched, you get some paint. You have a crack in your windshield that is slowly creeping across, that's scaring you to death because you're afraid the windshield is going to collapse in on you at any moment while you're driving. You can get that fixed. There is a solution to every problem. And there's a saying that my business coach, Jeffrey Combs, used to say, amongst others. It says, live in the solution, not the problem. So if you live in the solution, you will always figure out any problem that you may or may not have in your life. So, you want to close with anything? You don't know? You just go drink your cider. So, again, from the bottom of our hearts, this has been really fun to share our journey with you guys. And, you know, obviously there's more to share with you as we progress in the next phase of our relationship, you know, the wedding and everything else. And it's just going to be really fun to share all of that with you guys. And it's not about us giving anyone hope. we want to allow our love to project through us onto all of you, so you can take that and then you can project it on others. But now you want to say something.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I mean, so we get on here like every week, and I always tell Scott, I'm like, of course we're not, like, we say how we feel and just based on our experience. And it's funny because both of us have had long-term, different experiences, and now we're here at this point. And that's why it's so fun to do these videos, because I mean, we started doing them like 5 or 6 months ago.
Yeah.
At the earlier stages of our relationship. And that's why I'm so excited to go back and watch some of them. But I feel like the whole time we've been so thoughtful, and we've been so like just aware of our feelings. And the one thing that we really have together is just amazing communication. And when something's upsetting me, and actually I told him the first time in my life, like he encourages me to feel my feelings. So instead of bottling things up, instead of, making little things into big things, we talk about everything. So I just love that we're able to share this. Like Scott said, I mean, we are not experts, but we're kind of sharing what's been working for us and what we've kind of learned. And it's fun. And I'm excited to see some of our older like episodes back when we were like babies, like a few months ago. Yeah. Right. I
mean, there's always room to improve and grow. If you either grow together or you grow apart. And we always want to grow together, because we always want to continue to be our best, because there will always be things that come up in your life that will challenge you. There will be challenges, and it's about how it's developing the brain calluses now for having the strength and the durability and the ability to overcome those things and not overreact or react with pure emotion. And we were talking about something today, and like, let's not react emotionally, let's react logically, because the initial feeling is always the emotion. So take the emotion out of it. Let's look at the situation or what's going on from a logical perspective, because again, we bring meaning to things. When someone says something, we read it, we dictate it, we feel it, we have an emotion to it.
Yeah, and I mean, the one thing, and we keep saying it, but like, filter it. If you feel like yourself starting to get emotional.
And I said that to her today. I'm like, is it truthful?
Yeah. Is it truthful? Is it necessary?
Kind? Is it necessary?
Is it kind? Yeah.
And she's like, no. I'm like, okay, so now we've taken the emotion out of it.
Well then.
Let's speak about this logically. So it's a very easy practice, but you got to communicate that with your partner. And we do it with Taylor. I mean, it rubs off on everybody. So guys, again, thank you so much again for all the texts, the inboxes, just the engagement. Like, we're so blessed and grateful to have found each other, but to also be able to share this with all of you, and for all of you guys to be so receptive of us, because I know there's a lot of people out there that are like, there they go again, posting about each other and blah, they got it. Like,
it's real. Like, someone even said to me, like, oh, well, anybody can fake, a good relationship. Like, nobody's faking anything. We get coffee, we go to the gym every morning. We are like BFFs.
No, but that's
it's for real.
And that's how it should be. And but we just really have so much love and appreciation for all of you for being just open to us. And our friend Debbie, who's on here, she sent us this beautiful message, like, congratulations, guys. So happy for you both. Love you guys, and we can't, I can't wait for your Sunday conversation. Like, that means so much to us that, all we want to do is, we don't do this for us, and we do it for you to leave you with a piece of us and something that we've learned, because again, no one is an expert, but what qualifies someone to know something is to go through it. So if you go through something in your life, you can share it because you've experienced it and you know how you've gone through it and how you've worked through it. That's what makes you an expert.
And I am such a huge advocate. I mean, I come from a family, you know, we have divorce and things like that in our family. And it's like,
both of our families.
Yes, both of our families. And it's like, people need role models. People need good role models of good relationships. And, you know, it's okay to be happy. You know, when you're hanging out with your friends, or maybe you're grabbing a couple drinks or whatever, and instead of saying, oh yeah, this and that, and like bad things, be that role model. If you have a good, healthy relationship and you're happy with that person, that's great. That's like, I mean, in this day and age, it's rare. So share it with people. And that's where, you know, we were talking about it. It's like, it's important to show people. You know, I tell my brother and my sister-in-law all the time, I was like, you guys are like role models. Like, I love their love and their marriage and everything. They're like best friends. And I was telling my sister-in-law, I'm like, you are a role model. Like, you need to tell people. And even though sometimes people come to them and they might complain about their life or their relationship or whatever, it's okay to put your foot down and say, well, I am so happy. You know, my husband's so amazing and it's so great. And we communicate, and like, people need to hear that there's good things out there, and they need to hear that, you know, good stuff is, you know,
filter out the bad and then just leave nothing but the good. So with that, guys, happy Sunday. Again, thank you from the bottom of our hearts for all of you. And we're looking forward to taking you on the next stage of our journey. You know, planning the wedding and everything, and we're already figuring out details, and obviously we will fill you guys in as we go, because we want to take you on this journey with us. So enjoy the rest of your Sundays. And again, for all those that have and continue to serve for this amazing country, to keep us safe, to keep us free, to keep us protected, your efforts have not gone unnoticed, and we will never forget anything that you have and will go through, and it's greatly honored and appreciated. So happy Sunday.
And happy Veterans Day.
And happy Veterans Day. Love you guys. Have a great night. Bye-bye.